You know, I'm a consultant, I'm a speaker. Over the years, I have had a chance to hear lots and lots of, you're going to do that, aren't you? Okay, let's do this. Let's do this right, okay? Let's do this right. We want to make sure we get the good shot here, okay? So you're okay right there? All right, everybody raise your hands. Just raise your hands right here. Okay, ready? Okay. What? Got to raise your hands. Okay, okay. All right, action shot. Okay, all right. That way I make sure I'm in the next program. You know, it gets printed. The action shots are always put in there. Anyway, like I was saying, as a professional speaker, as a consultant over the years, I've had a chance to go to a lot of conferences. I've heard a lot of other speakers. I've heard professional speakers. I've heard amateur speakers. I've heard wannabe professional speakers. You know, some of these people are pretty good. Some of the speakers are pretty good that you get a chance to hear. And I have to tell you that I love sitting in on some of these other presentations because, like you, I want to learn things. I want to learn how to do things better, faster, cheaper. I want to learn how to improve my life. I want to learn how to do things bigger than maybe I've done in the past. And so I like to go to presentations. And one of the things that I look for in a presentation from any speaker is I just want that, you know, sometimes you're going to hear a speaker for 30 minutes. Sometimes you're going to hear him or her for an hour or 2 hours or something like that. And, you know, it's not like they're going to change your life in that period of time. I mean, sometimes it happens, but it's not like most of the time they're going to change your life. So I look for a speaker to just give me one thing, you know, one thing that absolutely just whacks me on the side of the head and it makes me just go, you know, I really should think about that because it kind of shifts, kind of skews my pattern of thinking. And that's really all I ever look for in a speaker. Now, one time I happened to be at this one conference a few years ago when the speaker that I wanted to listen to was a woman who talked about relationships. Now, it wasn't that I wanted to go to a relationship program. That wasn't what I wanted to do. I'm not one of those foo-foo guys, you know, that goes out on, you know, weekend, you know, couple retreats on weekends or anything like that. I'm not like that at all, and my wife will tell you that I'm not like that. But I'd heard this woman was a very, very good speaker, so I thought I want to go, you know, see her and listen to what she has to say. She stood up in front of the audience, and the first words out of her mouth absolutely floored me. She looked out over the audience. And she looked at us all very carefully and she said, "Would you be married to you?" Well, you know, first I'm thinking, well, sure I would. You know, I'm a good-looking guy. I'm funny. You know, all that stuff. And then she said, "Would you really be married to you? Think about it. Be honest. Be truly honest with yourself. Would you be married to you?" And then I started thinking, well, maybe I'd have to have a few things changed if I wanted to be married to me. And I know some of you out there, you would need some things changed too. And that question, you know, I extended that question out to other parts of my life until finally I asked the same question regarding business. Would I do business with me? And again, I had to be honest. I had to say, you know what, maybe I need to make some changes in the way I do business with people in order for me to want to do business with me. And that's the question I want to put out to you today, is would you do business with you? Now, before you automatically answer the question, oh yeah, absolutely I would do business with me, let's go through a series of questions here with you, a little test to find out, okay? Over or under? Those of you that want your toilet paper over the top, raise your hands, please, okay? All right. Those of you that want to come under, raise your hands, please. Yeah, you're wrong. Okay. How about toothpaste? Do you squeeze your toothpaste from the middle, or do you roll it up, you know, squeeze it from the end? The way. How many people squeeze it from the middle? Raise your hand. Come on. Come on. Okay. It's a little about, that's a little more than half. Okay. How many of you squeeze it from the end and kind of roll it up like that, okay? You know, I think I saw some people raise their hands the same time, both times there. I'm not sure about that. Okay, how about this one? How about sock, sock, shoe, shoe, or sock, shoe, sock, shoe? Who remembers that? Where's that from? What's that? It's from All in the Family. You know, Archie was having an argument with Meathead one day, and he said, and Meathead was going sock, shoe, and Archie got really upset with him. He says, no, it's sock, sock, shoe. You know, I mean, sock, sock, shoe, shoe, right? Are there any people in here that do sock, shoe, sock, shoe? Can I see your hands? This is the first time I've ever had an audience that nobody raised their hand for that, or are you just afraid? You know, no. Most people are sock, sock, shoe, shoe, right? Okay. How about, how do you feel about evolution versus intelligent design? I'm not going to ask you to vote on this one. But it's to make you think. You see, what this is all about, this is all about a thing called heuristics. See, we all have a way of looking at life. That's what heuristics is all about. It's essentially the habits that we form in the way that we think that transform into the way we behave on literally a daily basis. And we have little heuristics like the over or under, squeezing, things like that. And then we have other heuristics that get us through the day. I mean, things like, you know, what side of bed we get out on, our routine that we have in the morning when we get up. I mean, pretty much all of us follow the same exact routine when we get up and get ready to go to work. We follow the same routine when we drive to work. We take the same route. You know, it helps us to get through the day faster. In a good way, heuristics actually helps us because if we had to sit and think about every single decision that we actually had to make every single day, we'd never get anything done. So heuristics, which is kind of the study of the habits that we have, can be a very good thing. But it can also be a bad thing. See, we subconsciously wear two hats when we are business people because we've got the hat that we wear as a business person. We have the hat that we wear when we are a consumer, a customer, an end user. Think about that. Think about how you think when you are a customer and how you want people to talk to you and treat you when you are a customer. And then think about how you actually do treat your customers. And what is amazing is how often we have a chasm between those two personalities. And subconsciously, we wear two hats. See, and this is when you get into what is called a heuristic bias. Now, what is the formal definition of heuristics? Well, here it is, okay? Individuals assess probabilities based on their familiarity with a certain task, idea, or environment. Okay? Humans attempt to frame a decision based on prior situations that were confronted and successfully negotiated. Individuals start at one place in a decision matrix and adjust from that initial point. That last line is probably the most important thing. See, if you imagine a huge grid, three-dimensional grid with points on that grid, all of us are somewhere on that grid. Some of us are standing on the grid over here, and we are looking at the world and business and life from this direction. Others are standing on the grid over here. Others are standing in the back. Somebody's downstairs. Somebody's up on the roof. We're all in different places on the grid, and we see the world from our particular place. To make it a lot easier, state it more simply, we don't see things as they are, we see things as we are. That's what heuristics are all about. And when you start to have a heuristic bias that negatively impacts how you are behaving about something, how you're thinking about something, how you're feeling about something, and it gets in the way, that's a bias. Here's one really good example of what I'm talking about. When I am the customer, when I am the consumer, when I am the end user, and I get my mail, I go over by the trash can, and I flip through, and I dump stuff out into the trash can. Does anybody else do that? Anybody else do that?